In today's video, I'm doing a comparison of the second generation Toyota Tundra and the third generation Toyota Tacoma, both excellent trucks that have different advantages and disadvantages. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick overview on both trucks and give you some differences on how each truck is better than the other and might be a better fit for your specific situation. Now, for the purposes of this comparison, I'm not going to be directly looking at payload capacity, towing capacity, fuel efficiency when comparing these two different trucks. It's pretty obvious when you're looking at the Tundra and the Tacoma that the Tundra is going to have more tow capacity, it's going to have a higher payload, it's got a more spacious cabin, a larger bed. If you're looking for like a true work truck and you have more of those direct needs, then the Tundra is obviously going to be the better option. Likewise, the Tacoma is going to be better in terms of maneuverability, fuel efficiency, and I don't need to directly compare those components. I'll share those statistics just for information. But for the purpose of this video, I'm really looking at just the trucks overall as a package. If you're just looking to get into a truck and you like the Tacoma and you like the Tundra and you don't know which one's right for you, but those aren't really the specific needs you're looking for, in this video I want to touch just more on the overall holistic experience that you get with each of these trucks and some of the key differences that kind of differentiate them in terms of the overall package that you get with each model. Now, for our comparison, we'll start off by taking a look at the second generation model of the Tundra, which has been in production since 2007. Did see a minor refresh for the 2014 model year. This specific vehicle is a 2011, so in some ways it won't be quite an apples to apples comparison with the Tacoma, which is a 2016 model. The second generation model of the Tundra saw a significant increase in size when compared with the first generation model. Also saw quite a bit of additional variation in terms of the overall options that you could get with the truck. Between bed, cab, engine, and transmission configurations, the second generation model has 31 available options. You can get a regular cab, a double cab, or this is the Crew Max cab, and then they've got 3 bed lengths, a 6.5 foot regular bed, an 8 foot long bed, and then on the Crew Max you have a single choice of a 5.5 foot short bed. This specific model is the Rock Warrior package, which sees a few aesthetic changes, upgraded suspension, and a revised set of wheels. Overall, I really like the styling on the second generation model Tundra. It's got very bold, rugged styling, and it's really quite a departure from what we saw in the first generation model of the Tundra. Felt like the first generation Tundra was very similar to the second generation Tacoma in terms of the overall styling. And with the introduction of this new generation, the Tundra really got its own personality. You'll see a really great looking truck all around. With that minor refresh that they did in 2014, the main changes that you'll note is revised taillights, revised front end with new grille and headlight design, and then the interior also saw some nice upgrades. Looking at the interior of the Tundra, you'll see that it's got a pretty nice look and layout. Not as modern and contemporary as what you see in the third generation Tacoma because it did first come out in 2007, so it's starting to show its age a little bit. Despite that, for an interior that's 12 years old, looks pretty good overall. It's held up pretty well and has a fairly timeless design to it. Obviously, it's a lot more spacious than what you get with the interior of the Tacoma. And as far as options and features, they're going to be pretty standard between the two model lineups. Since this is a 2011 Tundra and we're comparing to a 2016 Tacoma, the Tacoma does have some additional features you can't get in the Tundra for this era, but with the newer Tundras, you're going to see pretty much the same features. But overall, a nice look and layout. It is worth noting that in addition to being much more spacious, these seats are a lot more comfortable in the Tundra than what you get in the Tacoma. And then the other thing that you'll see with the Tundra is that the rear cab is a lot more spacious than the Tacoma as well. Tacoma's pretty tight back here. Really, the cab of the Tacoma, although it seems like an illusion, the double cab model of the Tacoma is about the same size as an Axis cab Tundra. So with this Crew Max cab, you've got a ton of legroom here. And then there's also a feature where you can slide the seat forward. You'll see with that slid forward, you've got cargo space in the rear here. So very spacious back here. A lot more functional in that sense than what you're going to get with the Tacoma. We've got car seats for our Tacoma, and it's a pretty tight fit. With the Tundra, that's not going to be a concern, especially in this Crew Max configuration. The Tacoma and Tundra are both available in either rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and not surprisingly, the Tundra is available with a more powerful array of engine options than what you get with the Tacoma. For 2011, they offered the Tundra with a 4-liter V6, which has 236 horsepower and is paired to a 5-speed automatic. Actually, the same engine that was offered on the second generation Tacoma. That's only available on 2-wheel drive models and sees an EPA rating of 16 in the city and 20 on the highway. Then they've got a 4.6-liter V8 with 310 horsepower paired to a 6-speed automatic. EPA rating on that model is 14 and 19 on 4-wheel drive models and 15 and 20 on 2-wheel drive models. This Tundra's got the most popular 5.7-liter V8, which has an impressive 381 horsepower that will get you to 60 miles an hour in 6.3 seconds. It's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission, and we'll see an EPA rating of 13 in the city and 17 on the highway with 4-wheel drive, and 15 in the city, 20 on the highway in 2-wheel drive configuration. Max towing capacity on the Tundra is 10,800 pounds, and payload capacity maxes out at 1,750 pounds. A real highlight of the Tundra is that it's got excellent ride quality. It's got a really solid feel to it. It's very quiet, smooth, comfortable, and is incredibly powerful, especially when you've got that 5.7-liter V8. And I'd say this is one of the main areas where the Tacoma and the Tundra really kind of differentiate. While the Tundra feels very powerful, very smooth, quiet, comfortable, the Tacoma feels a little bit less so. It's pretty weak when it comes to the powertrain, not a lot of extra power. The engine feels like it's working really hard. Ride quality is not bad in the Tacoma. I mean, it's still a comfortable vehicle with a lot of nice features, and ride quality is pretty decent, but when you compare it to the Tundra is just at another level. And so definitely a high point with the Tundra is just this overall ride experience and the fact that it's got an abundance of power for accelerating on the highway, for towing, for driving up mountain passes. It really is a well-suited powertrain for this vehicle. Next up, we've got the Tacoma, which is likewise a really good-looking truck. This third generation model came out in 2016 and saw a minor refresh for the 2020 model year. This specific truck is a 2016 TRD off-road with a few aftermarket changes. It's got the TRD Pro replica grille up front. It's got oversized tires, 2-inch lift up front and a 1-inch lift in the rear, and then a few other minor changes from stock configuration. The Tacoma is available in an access cab or double cab configuration, and you can get it in a short bed or a long bed. This specific truck is the double cab long bed. And looking at the overall styling of the third generation Tacoma, it's kind of a mild progression over what we saw in the second generation Tacoma. Nothing too drastic in terms of the overall changes to the look of the truck, unlike the first and second generation Tundra, which are dramatically different. Sometimes I feel like the side angle of the second and third gen Tacoma look almost identical, and it's really the front of the vehicle, the rear of the vehicle, and the interior that see the main updates. But overall, you can see it's a really good looking truck, and what I really love about the Tacoma and the Tundra with the second and third generation model is that they're very unique vehicles. Unlike that second generation Tacoma compared to the first generation Tundra, which were very similar, now we've got really unique personalities with both trucks, and they both look really good in a different way. Unique style, both very sporty, rugged, and just have a very nice overall appearance. We see a pretty nice update inside the third generation Tacoma when compared with the second gen. Both models are really nice overall inside, but with this third generation model, it's just got a really nice contemporary look and layout to it. A lot of new additional features, and overall just has a very upscale appearance. You'll see that compared to the Tundra, it's quite a bit smaller, and as I mentioned before, the seats are not quite as comfortable as what you get in that Tundra model. Also worth noting that this 2016 Tacoma has a lot more luxury and tech features than what we saw in the 2011 Tundra. The Tacoma is available in rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive and has two different engine options. Base engine is a 2.7-liter four-cylinder with 159 horsepower paired to a 5-speed manual or 6-speed automatic transmission. EPA rating is 19 in the city and 23 on the highway. This truck's got the upgraded 3.5-liter V6 with 278 horsepower and is paired to a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission. EPA rating is 17 to 18 miles per gallon in the city and 20 to 23 miles per gallon on the highway. The Tacoma has a tow capacity of 3,500 pounds to 6,800 pounds, and payload maxes out at 1,620 pounds. It's hard for the Tacoma to compete with the Tundra when it comes to the overall ride quality and powertrain, because the Tundra feels so solid in all of those areas. It really is a quiet, smooth, comfortable vehicle, and it's got a really nice, powerful engine with that 5.7-liter V8. The Tacoma is not bad either, though. I mean, while I mentioned that the Tundra feels better in those areas, it still offers a pretty good overall ride quality, fairly smooth, And then the other thing I really like about the Tacoma is the overall layout of this interior. I think it's got a much more modern, clean look than what you get in the Tundra. Ergonomics are better. And then obviously the maneuverability and drivability of the Tacoma is much better than the Tundra too, because it's a lot smaller, more compact, and it just is an easier, more comfortable vehicle to drive. In the Tundra, because it's so large and because you're sitting up really high and the dimensions are all just enlarged, it's a little bit bulky to drive around. And with the Tacoma, it just feels so natural. It's a nice kind of perfect size. Yes, you're not going to be pulling that really heavy RV or have that really spacious interior that you get with the Tundra, but you're also going to have a vehicle that's a lot easier to drive and better fuel efficiency. So it's, really in this area, it kind of depends on what your specific needs are. But the thing I like about the Tacoma is that it's just a lot easier to drive, and it's got a very comfortable feel to it. So that's a comparison of the second generation Tundra and third generation Tacoma. With either of these trucks, you can't go wrong. They're both really solid packages that offer different advantages over one another. Starting off with the Tundra, beyond the fact that it's larger and has a more spacious cabin, a larger bed, higher payload and towing capacity, the areas to me that really stand out with the Tundra start off with refinement. Just overall, the truck feels like it's a lot more high quality, better materials, and just has a more substantial feel to it driving down the road. Likewise, it's a lot more comfortable than the Tacoma, and that goes beyond the size of the vehicle, but just the feel of the seats and the overall ride quality that you get with a larger, heavier vehicle. And then the last area where the Tundra really stands out over the Tacoma is with the powertrain. Especially with that 5.7 liter V8, it just has a ton of power. It's a lot more fun to drive, and it seems to be better suited to the vehicle than the powertrains that you get with the Tacoma. Likewise, the Tacoma's got some advantages over the Tundra beyond the fact that it's easier to drive, more maneuverable, and has better fuel efficiency. And the first thing that really sticks out to me about the Tacoma when compared with the Tundra is that it's more off-road capable. And the main reason for that is, again, just the dimensions of the vehicle. The fact that it's not as wide, it's got a shorter wheelbase, and that's going to make it a lot easier for going down narrow trails and getting over rocks and other objects that you might find along the way. And so it's going to be a little bit more off-road capable than what you get with the larger, heavier Tundra. Likewise, the Tacoma has kind of this cool factor that you don't get with the Tundra. And it's not to say that the Tundra isn't a cool truck, because both trucks really are a nice package and you're getting a really premium product. But there's something about the Tacoma where it's got this cult following and just has a little bit more of a cool factor that you don't quite get with the Tundra. The last thing about the Tacoma that really stands out is that it's got the best resale value of any truck or SUV on the market. And while the Tundra has really good resale value too, it doesn't match the Tacoma's value. And this kind of falls along with that cult following, cool factor where these trucks just continue to be popular for many years after production. So those are the different areas where I feel like the Tacoma and the Tundra went out over one another. Either way, like I said before, with the Tacoma or the Tundra, you're really getting a solid truck, and I like the different packages that you get with either model. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the section below. For more Toyota videos, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.